Hi there. Welcome to Introduction to Earth-Based Spirituality. My name is Heather. I am a spiritual coach and a circle facilitator, and I'm going to tell you today about the philosophy that I use in my work. So I'm going to share my screen so that you can see my slides. Ready? Almost there. There we are. Okay, so welcome to Introduction to Earth-Based Spirituality. Once again, I'm glad you're here. We're going to start with the very basic definition of spirituality. So different people have different beliefs about what this is. For me, it is how you understand your place in the big picture and how you recognize the parts of yourself that are unseen, that you can't even see with a microscope. Spirituality does not depend on any religion having, organized religion in your life. It does not depend on dogma, which is like a set of beliefs that you are not able to question, or any mystical woo that you have trouble understanding. That doesn't have meaning for you. So spirituality can come from you using your senses, from your understanding of your environment, to your relationship with community, and how you understand how the world works, which to me I call science. Why does our spirituality matter? Why bother, having one or recognizing the spirituality that's in you? So it's the core of all of our beliefs. So all of our actions, all of our behaviors come down to how we do them comes down to a certain set of beliefs. Now, these beliefs are formed usually by the time you are 3 years old and definitely solidified by the time you're 7. After that, you have to do some work to change them. So these beliefs that we all have in us, they don't have to be outwardly spoken. They can just be implied by how your family works or the environment that you are in. So your core set of beliefs, your spirituality, how you see your place in the world, and how you view the parts of you that are unseen have effects throughout your life and through the lives of people around you and all the parts of the world that you affect. So our spirituality provides a source of wisdom, our place of comfort, our meaning, the meaning that we apply to our lives, and our purpose, what we believe our purpose is in this world. So it really has really far-reaching effects. Science has shown us that spiritual people have more positive relationships, they have higher self-esteem, they tend to be more optimistic, and follow a strong purpose in life. So for me, I'll tell you my story in a minute. For me, the biggest thing that I take away from my spiritual practice, from my analysis of my intellectual and belief system, is resilience. And to me, resilience means getting back to steady when I've gone, to either direction. So I value being steady for myself. I value being steady for my work, and I value being steady for the people around me. So that is the most important thing to me. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story, how I got to earth-based spirituality, and how my journey along the way. So I grew up in a family that was not outwardly spiritual or even religious. We had a church that we went to on occasion, Christmas and Easter and some other times when we were feeling inspired to do that. And so if I had any religious influence on me, it would definitely be Christianity. I, as a small child, remember questioning everything like all small children do. For me, I haven't lost that. I'm still questioning every day why we're here, what we're doing, and what everything means. So, but I have memories of that as a small child. So that was, I'd say, the beginning of my spiritual, making spiritual interpretations about the world and myself. So I grew up in this house that was pretty mainstream, regular American family, middle class, or upper middle class probably. And we had this church we went to, and when I was in 7th grade, I started their confirmation class. It was a 3-year program, and my friends were in it, so I went along and did it too. And we had classes and we had potlucks and we had social events, and it was a ton of fun. We went on retreats, we did all kinds of stuff, and they talked about everything from sexuality to morals to relationships to all the things, right? And being a member of a community, that type of thing. And I got into a bunch of the teachings. But the part that sticks out to me the most is at the very end, when you make your final faith statement. So we were told to write out exactly what we believed and where we thought our place, in the world was in relation to this, to these teachings. And so I love to write. I was pretty excited about that. I wrote my faith statement, and we were to turn it in to the pastor, and he would edit it, and then we would read it in front of the confirmation. So that's what happened. I turned it in, I got it back, and he made, grammatical edits, but then the part that sticks out to me the most is that he had crossed off a couple of my sentences and written in sentences of his own, and that's exactly what I was meant to say about my relationship with Jesus and the teachings and that kind of thing. So there was no opportunity for conversation around this. This is how it's going to be. So I did it. I went up in front of the congregation on the day that everyone was reading their faith statements, and I spoke. And I hated it. I felt like I was lying. I had felt passionately about what I had written before, and it was clear that that was not going to fly here. So to be part of this, community, to be accepted, to be embraced, this is what I had to say. And so I left that experience thinking, well, that's never going to happen with me again, right? Like, I think for myself, I make my own decisions, and I'm going to decide for myself what it is that I believe. And so that has led me on this journey of questioning, even deeper as the years go on. And I've really come to have a passion for using the environment around me and my senses to decide what I think and how I feel, right? So for me, I call my sense of spirituality earth-based spirituality. And my inspiration, my foundation of wisdom, and my source of meaning and comfort all come from nature. So any practices I have are based around the earth, and the beliefs that I have that I'm constantly reassessing. I'm looking at my behaviors. I'm looking at what causes big feelings in me, right? When I notice what's happening in my body, and I'm reassessing always to kind of align myself more with the teachings that or the wisdom that I find from my environment. So if I had to like bundle that all up into one core sentence, it would be that I am part of a sacred, unending cycle. I am significant. So as part of this whole, I am an important part. And I'm going to talk more about that in the next video. And I believe you are too, right? So we are all equal here together. We are all essential on this earth. So when I look around at the world, and I look around at the state of the earth, to me, my interpretation is that it's in crisis. We've got some major problems that need solving, and some major shifts that need to be made to attain, sustainable living here on this planet. So what earth-based spirituality does is liberates us from being in charge of the earth, so having to manage it and to constantly understand everything so that we can change what's going on, to start focusing on living in sync with its cycles. So this does not mean shucking responsibility for how our lives have impact on the earth. It's actually quite the opposite. What this means to me is that I am not the manager of the earth. I am a participant. So what's cool about earth-based spirituality is not only does it provide wisdom and comfort and meaning and purpose to my life, it makes me feel as though I'm part of the solution, or at least I have the opportunity to be. And there's not, this religion over here that says this one thing, that this is what my life is about, and then I look around and my environment says something else, that this is what's going on. Those are very aligned for me. My spirituality and my place in the world are very aligned with my observations of the world around me. So if you are interested in engaging in activities and relationships that feed your fire, that help you find community, and really empower you to be the change that you want to see in the world, then I would encourage you to turn your love of nature into an impactful spiritual life. So in the next video, I'm going to talk about the basics of Earth spirituality. And then in the third video, I'm going to talk about some practices. And in the fourth, I'm going to talk more about finding community within your spiritual world to involve, community in how you see yourself in the world. So of course, you can always go to circlewithheather.com to find my circles and other offerings. And I will see you in the next video.